Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to MNC Mornings. We are live. Happy New Year. I hope you guys are all having a great time and hopefully not hungover. Definitely don't want that. I'm glad to be here. As you guys know, there's a like 8,000 pound elephant in the room. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that this is going to be the last official MNC Mornings. It's really just C Mornings right now. Although I do have the producer J Dubs here. Say hi to everybody, J Dubs.
Hey, everybody. Hope everyone had a safe and happy new year.
Exactly. Um, and also, I want to say that uh, you know I think that uh, it's been a really fantastic ride with this show, and I've had an extremely fun time with this show. And I think that I just want to say that I'm glad that everybody's been so supportive of the show, and that we've been able to reach the amount of people that we've reached. There's not going to be any Skype calls today. I do have quite a bit of um, I have quite a bit of voicemails that we're going to cover today and things like that. So, and you guys have all been great. You guys are really fantastic. It's been a really good show. And I think the best part about the show is that you guys have been so involved right from the beginning. And I wanted to make sure that you guys know that we're very appreciative of that. And the show wouldn't have been as successful without you guys. So thank you guys so much for all the love and support. And into the new year. Look, the new year has begun. Xbox Scorpio is coming out this year, and and I think that that's something that we as gamers can all look forward to. I think it's fun to just kind of game on, and that's the plan for the year. The Aaron Greenberg was tweeting out at like 6:30 a.m. his time. He's like, "It's 2017 Scorpio, year of the Scorpio," and I couldn't agree more. I think that that's absolutely the way that us fans should look at it. It's gaming. These are plastic boxes, people. These are absolutely just for fun and entertainment. This show, all the shows on YouTube, just absolutely fun and entertainment. Definitely not something to get worked up over or anything like that. It's just for fun, people, and it's good times. And I think that gets lost in a lot of what goes on with this type of thing. You know what I mean? It's fun and entertainment. And Jay, wouldn't you agree that people get worked up maybe a little bit too much over this stuff?
Yeah, just a little bit. It's plastic boxes, everybody. Everyone
Yeah.
has to take that in consideration. We've been playing video games since the late 70s, and let's all just keep enjoying what we like to do and be nice to each other. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, we're not here as people for a long time, but so I always say, let's at least try to make it a good time and be as kind as we can to each other. There's so many things that are going wrong in the world. I think video games is something that's going right in the world. You know what I mean? There's so much fun, and you can get lost in these fantastic worlds and with adventures and I think that's amazing, and I think that that's what video gaming is all about. And I want people to kind of take a step back and realize that, like there's a community, there's a community, and it's just the gaming community. Yes, there's subsects in there, and there's extremists, and there's that kind of thing or whatever. But at the end of the day, we're all gamers, and anything bad that gamers do to other gamers makes us all look kind of bad. And I think that that's unfortunate. And so hopefully you guys continue like kicking ass and being amazing, because you guys really are. Like, the community is amazing. I've met some really good Xbox people. I've met some good PlayStation people. I've met some good PC people. My brother games on PC a bit. Like, Jay, didn't you just improve your PC?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I just got myself that new RX 480, the 8 gig monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually been kind of fun to jump back and forth from my computer to my Xbox. I've been playing a little bit of Forza on my computer. If I'm rendering a video or whatever, I just pop it open on another screen. I have a couple screens here, and I've been playing that. I played a little bit of Gears. It's amazing. I love the way that everything just works together. It's pretty phenomenal.
See, fantastic, man. And I know a lot of people like that. You know what I mean? Like, as far as Xbox versus PC or Xbox versus PlayStation 4. It's just all nonsense. It's just all for fun. It's like, my favorite team is the Ravens, and I hate the Steelers, but when I hate the Patriots, but it's like I can still be friends and interact and be cool to people that are fans of those teams. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with PlayStation and PC or whatever. Like, I don't inherently hate anybody. It's just entertainment. It's just for fun. And, and I just happen to prefer, I see Demon Wolf in the chat. He's like, go Patriots. See, man, I'm good friends with Demon Wolf, man. And him and his wife are expecting their first kid this year, which is a very exciting time, I think, like within the next week or two. So, you know what I mean? Like during the football time, though, like me and him are like, hey, man, we always send each other these gifts. Like I'll send him a deflated football gift or whatever, and he'll just send me one where Tom Brady has like 4 Super Bowl rings. And it's just fun and games. You know what I mean? It's not serious. Like, yeah, we like different teams, but at the end of the day, we're human beings. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes that gets lost on people. But it's gaming and it's fun, and I like to have fun with it and things like that. So hopefully you guys do too. I don't know how long this show will last, because like I said, it's New Year's. I'm sure some of you guys are probably hungover or whatever, but I don't want to keep you guys too long. But I do got some voicemails and stuff like that to cover. Who do we got on deck, Jay?
We've got an old favorite who's number 1 here on my list. It's Space Cat.
Oh, Space Cat. Good to hear from Space Cat.
Mooching crap, Space Cat. I was just wondering, what games are you all most excited for that are coming out in 2017? Mine include Scalebound, Crackdown 3, Mass Effect Andromeda, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay.
Okay, that's how you know Space Cat is done talking. Okay, so let me think. What games am I most looking forward to? I think there's a lot of them that I'm looking forward to. And one of them would be obviously Sea of Thieves. I think that would be one of my absolute favorite games. So far, what I've seen from it, absolutely phenomenal. I think it's a fantastic looking idea, like the multiplayer aspect, the pirate aspect. I'm really excited by that. And so that's probably one of my favorites. Obviously, Mass Effect Andromeda is going to be one that I'm looking forward to as well. I think there's a lot, not just the exclusives, but I'm always excited by like the multiplats and stuff like that. I'm interested to see what next year's Call of Duty is going to be like. I'm not going to lie. I just, I'm very interested in that. What about you, Jay? I know you probably are pretty interested in some of these games coming out next year.
Yeah, Scalebound kind of intrigues me just for the whole multiplayer on dragons thing. That sounds pretty awesome. I'm not sure if Crackdown is going to be delayed, but Crackdown seems like a good title that I never really got into Crackdown that much on the 360. Or it actually started on the OG Xbox, or did it just start on 360?
Crackdown was like I believe an old Sega Genesis game originally, and they brought it back on 360. And Crackdown 1, they gave out the beta for Halo 3 in Crackdown 1, and so that actually helped Crackdown 1 sell a ton of copies. And so I think that is pretty cool. You know what I mean? And then so it ended up being kind of a success, and then as far as Crackdown 2, they kind of rushed it out or whatever. I think that was the problem with Don Matrick era of Xbox was if a game had some limited success or success first out, they tried like hell to get the second version, their second game out like as soon as possible. That happened with Fable 2 to Fable 3. Like Fable 2, huge success, won Game of the Year awards and everything. They pushed Fable 3 out in 2 years. 2 years, and then people complain that it took a step back or whatever. So I think that rushing game is never really a great idea. It's best to just kind of let these games kind of develop and not rush them, things like that. That's why I always say it's kind of bad to have people come out that and announce these games when they're not really going to come out anytime soon. You know, so I definitely think that's an issue. So going forward, I like Phil Spencer's approach with this stuff. And again, like the whole slate of games that I'm excited for, I'm very excited for like Crackdown 3, Scalebound, State of Decay 2, obviously, even Halo Wars 2. I'm definitely interested to get in on that because I heard GKB is really good at RTS games. So me and him are going to team up and like take on a whole bunch of people, and I'm very excited about that. So
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what about you? Anything else like that you're just like dying to get into?
Not really. Like I'm hoping that they're going to announce a Left 4 Dead 3. I know that hasn't been announced yet, but there's always been a lot of rumor about it. And the Left 4 Dead series is a lot of fun. It's one of the best multiplayer experiences I've ever had playing Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. And if they finally do come out with the 3, which I think the rumor has it that they will be, that'll be definitely something that's on my radar.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I thought Valve has a problem with the number 3 though, right? Like they never come out with games as far as like the number 3. You know, like people are like Half-Life 3, nope. Left 4 Dead 3, nope. You know what I mean? They're just never really into releasing the number 3s or whatever like that. But Jay, like before we get into any more voicemails or anything, did you have a good New Year's, man? Did you drink a lot?
A little too much. So what we do in this, I live in a cul-de-sac here, and usually on New Year's we have a party here at the house, and we invite all of our neighbors because you know a lot of the people in this area all have kids. You know, my kids are teenagers now, but a lot of the families in the neighborhood have younger kids. Parents can't really go out and do anything, so we have a party here at the house. We had probably about 15, 20 people here last night. And they came over here, and it was safe. You know, they could walk home at the end of the night. No one had to drive.
Yeah.
Have people stay overnight. You know, lots of food, lots of drinking. A tradition here in Canada, especially in the East Coast, is kitchen parties. So what ends up happening is that where all the booze and the food is, which is the kitchen, most of the people kind of stand around in there and eat and drink and talk and just have a good time, and we have music playing. We had video games on every floor. Like I had I've got an Ouya upstairs, and I've got all the
one of the few.
The funny thing is I use my Ouya for all the retro games. So I had the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis and all that, and they were all playing it on the new controller that I got for Christmas. My wife bought me the Super Nintendo wireless controller, so it looks like an authentic Super Nintendo controller. So I just placed that on the table, left Super Mario All-Stars sitting on the big screen, and people would just walk up, pick up the joystick, and start playing. And
yeah, because everybody remembers that. You know what I mean? So I think that's resonates with gamers. You know, it's like they're Super Mario Brothers. You know, you pick it up and you start playing it and you have fun with it, and everybody knows that. You know, it's like that's one of those things. Now, how is the pricing on some of those games on that thing?
You know, they're like Android price. They're like, you know, $1.99, and they're pretty cheap. But for the emulator stuff, you know, you download the emulator and most of the games come with it. And I just have a memory stick in the back of my Ouya that plugs in, and I've got every emulator on there from you know, from Atari right up to I think I even have a Dreamcast emulator on there, although it plays some games well, some games not. But I mean, you can plug an Xbox 360 wireless dongle into the back of it, and then use your Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah.
Play, you know, games like Nintendo 64 when they actually introduced the dual sticks and stuff like that. So yeah, everything's there. It's such a fun game. So we had that going on upstairs, and then downstairs I had my Xbox One on, and there were kids down there, and they were playing everything from Star Wars Battlefront to Plants vs. Zombies or Garden Warfare. And they were playing some Forza Horizon. I was showing a friend of mine Forza Horizon 3 because he owns a PlayStation. He didn't own an Xbox. And I showed him Forza Horizon 3, and he was blown away at the Blizzard Mountain stages. He was having a good time with it.
No, were you letting him play it on like a HDR 4K TV?
Well, my 4K is upstairs, and that's the ironic part about all this is that my 4K is upstairs, and that's what the Ouya was attached to. And so everyone was playing Super Mario in 4K upscale.
Well, did it look any better? Because we all know 4K upscale makes it look so much better, according to pundits and things like that. So
Downstairs, I have a bigger television. I have like a 55-inch plasma that's about 9 years old. That it's a 1080p, so it still looks terrific.
yeah. So hey, well that's good to know, man. That's good to know. It sounds like you had a good time. I did too. Just pretty quiet. I mean, I live in a pretty laid back area, so you could hear like fireworks and stuff going off. You know, the weird thing is they start these damn things going off like 2 hours before the new year. You know, so it's like you know, it kind of gives you a headache or whatever, and then like the dog goes crazy or whatever. But for the most part, yeah, just fun, good times, just chilled out. You know, just a really good time. I was on Twitter a bit, like with a few drinks or whatever. So I was like doing a little bit of drunk tweeting, which is always fun. And then you're just like, you know, hey, Happy New Year, everybody. Hey, you know what? And honestly, man, 2016 wasn't so bad. Like with life, you know, there's ups and downs. Just it is. It's really just how it is. You know, there's always going to be good parts. There's always going to be that bad parts, and there's always going to be in between parts, you know. And so 2016 was a bit of a roller coaster, like every year. Like, you know what I mean? Like I always like it when people are like, you know, 2000 this past year was really bad, and I'm like, so it had really bad parts like every year. Like I've never heard of anyone just having a fantastic year from start to finish. Usually a year is filled with some good, some bad, some middle, you know, and that's pretty much you know, that's pretty much how life is. You know, life is life. That's just all it is.
I get a kick out of it. I mean, if your year was ruined because a couple of celebrities passed away, you know, I understand that celebrities, people have and hold them dear to the heart, but you know, there were lots of crazy shit happened, lots of good shit happened, lots of people had babies, lots of people got new jobs. You know, there was lots to celebrate as well.
Yeah, like I mean, life goes on. You know, we all, you know, will carry on the best as we can. And like on my channel in specific, I'll be bringing kick-ass content. You know, look, it's January 1st, and I'm already doing a show, and you know, hopefully you guys are having a good time with it, watching it, and hitting that like button, of course. And you guys have really liked the show and kind of push it into its own thing. Like all the stuff that we've given away, and just looking back at it, it's been really fantastic. I'm always getting messages like, hey, do you want to give this away? I mean, we've given away so many copies of Gears of War 1, 2, 3, and Judgment. It's unbelievable. We started having to like donate them to like the shelters and stuff, you know, like, hey, you guys want you know, food, blankets, Gears 1, 2, 3, and Judgment codes? Here you go. You know what I mean? Like people have been really fantastic, and I can't thank everybody enough for that. There's a lot of people that have really supported this show right from the beginning, and I just want to say thank you guys all, and thank you guys for being so kick ass. You know, just doing an amazing job. Thank you so much. Who do we got on deck?
Yeah, speaking of supporting, we have one of our biggest supporters on deck.
Okay, awesome. Who is it? Let's hear.
Hi everyone, this is Yoshita. I'm so happy to be here today. Mooch and Crap and Jay Williams and She-Wolf up in the clouds. It's gonna interrupt my message as always. Yoshida wants to say he loves you guys. Not really, I'm just kidding, assholes. Yoshida does have one quick question though. I want to know how it comes to be that I can brainwash the masses of the world to buy my shitty PS4 Pros and believe all the hype and media from GameSpot and IGN and stuff like that. But it doesn't work on you guys. I don't understand, and stop trying to change the media's mind. I already paid them Sony money, assholes. Okay, I think that's all. Goodbye.
You're listening to M&C in the Mornings. As always, remember, you can't take anything they say seriously. It's just jokes. Jokes performed by YouTube professionals, and usually the joke's on them.
Well, you know, the one thing that's funny from the Yoshida perspective, and I always appreciate his support and watching the show. I think, you know, PlayStation guys are probably some of the biggest fans of the show, you know, so I'm always thankful for that. But I don't know. I don't think the PS4 Pro is exactly lighting the world on fire. I think that it's not exactly selling fantastic. If it was selling fantastic, Sony would have been right out of the gate saying, "Hey, you know, let's go out there and announce these numbers for this." Instead, they announced just overall numbers. Oh, hey, we're at 50 million now, but we're not going to be specific on what our PlayStation VR sold or what the PlayStation Pro sold. We're just going to say they're on track. They sold okay. You know what I mean? So I think that that's probably the bigger difference with that. And suckering people or whatever. I don't know. I guess it depends on what people think individually. I'm sure for someone that loves PlayStation, maybe they don't think that they were suckered. Like as far as me, I think that's I think that they've been a bit suckered as far as I'm concerned. So there's nothing really special about it. And I saw this teardown. I believe it was like a Ben Heck thing or whatever. Maybe you've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a PS4 Pro teardown and said that there was, basically kind of said that there's not much, there's not really much to it. It's like an improved GPU and things like that, but it's not exactly like this amazing piece of tech or anything like that. So I think that, there's that as far as I'm concerned, but I'm not like I was never a big proponent of these upgraded consoles. Like I am excited for Scorpio, but I do see why people would be a bit apprehensive about getting one. I can see that, especially with the PS4 Pro, because we see that the PS4 Pro hasn't exactly lit the world on fire. It hasn't exactly impressed. I don't know anybody really that. Yeah, thank you. In the chat, he says Ben Heck said it was cheap and didn't feel premium, which I agree. I mean, look, it's like a $300 thing or whatever, and $399 or whatever, and that was basically the price of the regular PS4. But it doesn't really, it's like got that triple decker look to it or whatever. So it's not exactly something, and it's loud as hell. Like that's the thing that like kind of bugs me the most is it's like louder than the original one. Which is weird. So I don't know. Like and there's not really a lot going for it. I know a lot of people are like, I've seen some people really excited for Scorpio. I am, but I'm cautiously optimistic about Scorpio. And reason being is the PS4 Pro had some issues as far as it's getting back patched to some games, but I don't think developers knew about it too much in advance. It was like we knew it kind of broke like maybe 4 or 5 months before it released. Like I got documents and things like that, but Microsoft was very honest and open almost 2 years ahead of the Scorpio being released. Hey, we have this 6+ teraflop beast that we're releasing. Developers are already working on games. So I think that should alleviate some of the people that are like, well, what's it really going to do? Is it really going to kind of, push the boundaries of gaming? I think it's going to push the boundary of gaming as far as, what's concerned with, 4K, and I think the people with 4K are going to take the most benefit of this. I just that's how I feel about it. But what about you, Jay? Are you excited? Are you going to get a Scorpio? Or are you?
Oh yeah, I'm getting a Scorpio day one. I mean, that's kind of the reason why I did get my 4K television. I used the Xbox One S as an excuse, but really it was in preparation for the Scorpio when that comes out to really take advantage of that. I've always gotten the systems when they've come out. I almost buy everything day one, especially like even way back when I was buying like Sega. I got my Sega Genesis when it first came out, and then I got my Dreamcast when it first came out. And I mean, I never went down the Sony path at all, so I've never owned a Sony console. But I've seen the benefits of them having games and the games that have come out and have influenced other games. I can see those benefits, but
yeah.
I am totally looking forward to, that next level of gaming, and I think Scorpio will bring that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I'm like really excited to see what it has to offer, but I also see why people might be a little bit worried or apprehensive about jumping into like a new console or whatever. I still think the Xbox One S is going to be the big seller, sort of like how the PS4 Slim or PS4 regular fat is still the big seller for Sony, even though they have, they still have the Pro, and it's really realistically only about $100 more. But I guess you can pick them up for even cheaper right now, particularly. But I'm very excited to see what happens. I think it's interesting. So anyway, who do we got on deck, man?
So next we've got a new caller. His name is Gold Lion.
Okay. always up for new callers.
Hey, Mooch and Crap. This is Gold Line X23, aka Mr. Silver. Quick question: do you think that being the Xbox One S does HDR, we will see some more updates from third parties, studios like Activision or Bungie to support HDR on Xbox One S consoles prior to the Scorpio launching? Great show, guys. Keep up the good work. Loyal listener. I'll keep it Xbox.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Keep it Xbox, and thanks for calling in, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. So Microsoft is very adamant about the HDR thing now. So I think that we're going to see even more HDR. Even people that were a little bit not so much into the whole HDR thing for the Xbox, they're starting to change their tune. Like that Sniper Ghost Warrior 3, that game is getting HDR support now. And I think that that's fantastic. Like more developers should be absolutely open to adding HDR support to games. I think it's a selling point. There's going to be about 10 that support it with that game, and Recore getting patched, and with Resident Evil 7, that's going to be HDR 1080p 60 on Xbox One as well. So I think that that's pretty fantastic in and of itself. And so I'm very excited for that. It is a key selling point. If you've ever played a game like play Forza Horizon 3 Blizzard Mountain in HDR on a 4K TV, and you will be blown away. It is absolutely fantastic. I've never seen anything like that before. You can just tell everything kind of just it just blurs the lines of reality. You know, Jay, have you played Forza Horizon 3 on like a 4K HDR?
That's right. Yeah, I've got it upstairs on my Xbox One S. I've got my 4K, and I've got Blizzard Mountain. I've been playing that actually quite a bit. If anyone follows me on Xbox Live, you'll notice that it's probably the number one game I've been playing for the last week or so. And yeah, like just the brightness, the colors, the way things just pop when you're driving through them, it's phenomenal. Like even the way the snow comes down and hits the cars, and yeah, it's like you said, it kind of blurs the lines of reality and virtual reality, because it's just, you know, it's one of those things you just have to see to believe, really.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that that's absolutely right. And when you play it, even like Gears 4, like I'm really impressed with like the how that game looks. Everything pops. It's like stunning. You know what I mean? Now I asked my brother Hellhammer. I was like, "Yo, can you tell the difference with the HDR?" And then he doesn't have a HDR TV or monitor, so he's like, "No, not really." You know what I mean? I don't know. It's always hard telling if Hellhammer's bullshitting me or not. You know what I mean? Because he's like, "Yeah, I don't really tell the difference." You know what I mean? I don't know. So I think he's gonna pick up something HDR this year. But yeah, like for me, I think that it's worth it. There's only a handful of games, but man, I bought like TV and you know, and an Xbox One S and stuff just specifically for the ability to play HDR on these games. You know what I mean? And I'm glad, and I think we're going to see more developers support it. I think that that it's important that people support it, and I think that it's important that Microsoft get recognized for it, because I saw an article not too long ago that was like, oh, well, Sony's PS4 Pro and the Nvidia Shield are the only consoles that support HDR gaming, and I'm just kind of scratching my head like, really? What? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just think that that's an interesting situation, and not something that a lot of people address, is that Microsoft actually came out first and said, hey, we have an HDR ready console for gaming. We do 4K upscaling. We do all this kind of stuff. And, you know, and I think that it's, you know, well worth it. If like you haven't seen the difference, like I know it's hard to explain, because unless you have an HDR TV, you can't really exactly say what the difference is. Like you can't show that to somebody without an HDR monitor. So whenever you see like Sony or somebody, even Microsoft, advertise HDR gaming or whatever, what they do is they put a filter so that you can sort of see like what the difference would be. You know what I mean? And just the colors are vibrant, and like the sun pops and the crystals in the snow and things like that. I think it's absolutely phenomenal, and they did a fantastic job with it. You know what I mean? And I'm a real big fan of it. And you know, I do have a couple topics I don't want to talk about, and we'll get back to some of the voicemails. But I also have some people I want to thank by the end of the show. So like I said, I'll make sure to get that out of the way as well. Just in case you're joining us late, there's not going to be any call in on Skypes or anything like that. I just don't think that it would be right. And not only that, but Jay Williams, Surface Pro, what happened to that, Jay?
I have no idea. I get up yesterday morning and try to, I walk into my office, I flick on my Surface, and all of a sudden it didn't come on. I thought maybe there's just a problem with it. So I kind of tried to do a hard boot on it and not getting anything. But I did notice that the power light is blinking every so often. And so I got onto Google and I did a little research, and it turns out that my battery may be totally dead on my Surface. And the Surface is what I use for all my Skype calls. If anyone's ever seen some of the pictures that I've posted on Twitter with my setup here for MNC Mornings, I've got 2 computers. Actually, I've got 3 computers. One that's monitoring chats. I've got my phone going that I'm watching the live show on. I've got one monitor that's running mixers and the intros and the voicemails. One window that's running the Hangout window. And then I've got my Surface that's running the Skype calls, and everything's patched together so it all runs smoothly. And as soon as I realized that my Surface wasn't coming back on, it kind of put a damper on Skype calls. But you know what? I think we all know that it's probably appropriate that we don't do voice
Yeah.
live calls today anyway, just because of the circumstances. But we've had lots of great voicemails coming in the last week. People are very, very responsive to that, and we really appreciate everybody contributing in any way, from Yoshida, who calls in all the time, and some of our other good friends. If you
like Luca,
like Tony the Pony.
Yeah.
We have
like Diggity, like that guy has been a super fan since like day one. He always calls in. Luca, who could be the next superstar. You never know. Like, she is really on the ball with that stuff, and knows her gaming for sure. So,
exactly.
I think that's fantastic. But yeah, I wanted to talk about. I was on M4G, which I sometimes check out, like M4G for like articles and things like that. And one of the questions in this article was, the name of this is, should Sony get EA access on the PS4? And I was looking at it, and so I check out the comments, right? Because I always do that. And I'm looking at the comments, and you would figure N4G, like even the people, the most hardcore fanboy would say options are good. What would it have to have EA access on the PS4? It's $30 a year. It's really not expensive. The games that they're offering are absolutely fantastic, especially when compared to the $60 a year PlayStation Plus, which gets you a few indie games. You know what I mean? Like, their EA Access gives you AAA games in the vault. There's all kinds of games in there. The Dragon Age stuff, you get to play stuff early. Like, us Xbox owners are going to get to play Mass Effect Andromeda. We're going to be able to play that early, a week early, even though it looks like Sony has the marketing rights. So same thing with Battlefront. Remember, there was that big to-do over Battlefront because Sony was paying for the marketing rights, had the Darth Vader console and all this nonsense. And at the end of the day, we got to play it first on Xbox because we had EA access. So we were playing it like 7-8 days early or something like that. So I think that's cool. We're going to be able to do that with Andromeda. But like, some of the comments that like people are agreeing with is like this, right? Like, should it come to PS4? And here's like one of the top comments. No, don't let other publishers come up with stupid subscriptions. Also, most EA games are not good enough to justify a monthly payment. This has 40 agrees, right? Like, you know what I mean? And here's another one. EA access equals paying for trash. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, really? Like, this is something that people are saying, I just think that it's absolutely phenomenally idiotic that people would actually say this kind of stuff and believe it,
EA Access really is a no-brainer if you think about it. For $30 a year, you're getting over 30 games, and most of them AAA, most of them. And here in Canada, we're spending almost $80 on a AAA game for one. So,
oh, you guys pay a lot. How much isn't like the PlayStation VR like $700 there?
Oh, it's insane. Yeah, the last time I was at Best Buy, I think that was the price tag on it. But I mean, I think the $700, I'm not sure if that comes with this. Yeah, so that's the helmet and sticks. That's everything altogether. But they do sell the helmet by itself as well, and I think that's 500.
Yeah, so like here, like the whole thing with the move sticks and the camera and the helmet, that's $500. It's $499. Just for the helmet itself, it's $399. You know what I mean? But then to get the stick, like I don't know, like the cheaper way to get it is like everything included for $500. But in Canada, man, you guys are paying an insane price for that. Like, how much is like Oculus or like Vive up there?
I haven't even priced that stuff. Although it's funny because recently, because I've got the new RX 480, the RX 480 is VR ready, and I'm thinking, might this be my opportunity to now jump into VR? But I don't know if I'd even like it. You know, it's not I've ever really wanted to do.
Well, do you guys have a way to go like demo one of those? Like some stores have them. You know what I mean? Like you can demo some of these at like a Best Buy, sometimes like a Vive, sometimes an Oculus, sometimes PlayStation VR. They have those set up in different areas that you can demo and see if you're like into it or whatever.
Yeah, nothing in my local area, but I'm sure in the bigger areas, like if I lived in Ontario near Toronto, I'm sure they've had lots of things like that, even Quebec. But I literally live in buttfuck Canada. We're in the East Coast. We don't get very much at all down here, so.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, that's okay. You know, as far as I'm concerned, like the VR scene is kind of a gimmick. I'm not like totally against it because I think, and I see like Delilah in the chat. I know she has some VR. I think she has Oculus, and she loves it. She says it's awesome. You know, so I think that there is a place for it. And I know that Xbox Scorpio is probably they're saying it's gonna be VR ready, right at launch or whatever. So. You know, I mean, there's that, but for me personally, as long as there's like all these wires and all this stuff, I think that it's not going to be the main source of entertainment for like hardcore gamers. You know, it was the same thing with Kinect. It was the same thing with the Wii. Same thing with all that stuff. You know, I always thought that it was, you know, that those were just gimmicks, like something to do here or there, but it wasn't something that everybody was going to be into. You know, it gets old rather fast, and so I think that is just the reality of it. You know, and no matter how much these companies push, it's never going to be like the mainstream thing. You know, like putting on a mask or whatever or anything like that. So I just don't think that's going to be the future going forward. But Jade, who do we have on deck? Let's see if we can't get another one of these awesome voicemails in.
Here we have our superstar here.
Hey Mooch, Crap, J-Dubs, Happy New Year. Welcome to the year of the Scorpio, the year of Xbox. Really looking forward to it. My question is, for the next Star Wars game, what would you like to see? Would you like to see something like Battlefront or maybe something that has more RPG-like elements? Interested in hearing your thoughts. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Oh, there, Luca. Yeah, obviously on the second floor as always. Hey, I was having an interesting conversation with her on Twitter yesterday. She's only 4'11". She's incredibly short. Like I don't know. I just thought that was odd that someone was 4'11". I don't know. So yeah, but anyway, Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is coming out next year, so I'm kind of excited about that. Obviously, I would love it, like in a perfect world, I would love a KOTOR 3 because KOTOR is absolutely one of my all-time favorite games, and I think that it's fantastic. You know what I mean? So I would love to play like that RPG style. I'm hoping that Star Wars Battlefront 2 actually has a full-on single-player campaign. You know, kind of like what they did with Titanfall 2. Like Titanfall 1 was great, and I know a lot of people don't like Titanfall 2 for whatever reason, because I think a lot of people are pissed off at Titanfall 2 because they pulled it from the EA Access deal, and you know they kind of cater towards the PS4 crowd a little bit. So I get that, and so people kind of stayed away and voted with their wallets on the second one. The same thing could happen to Star Wars Battlefront 2. I mean, a lot of people, myself included, I got the $80 version, which was like, basically just a Han Solo blaster and a couple of whatever, like skins or something. It was like ridiculous. And then we were all playing it and it was a fun game, but it was very like dumbed down compared to the originals. And I think that was blatantly obvious. Like there was no in-game voice chat. So you had to do party chat. The lobby system was crazy. There was no private lobby when it launched. There was a lot of issues, no single player campaign. Although there was some stuff you could do single player, it was like just wasn't very much fun. They did, to their credit, they did patch it and stuff like that. But I have to point out, because I played it lately with Hellhammer, because I picked up the DLC. It was like you could get the full season pass, which was 4 map packs for $19.99 or something. So I did that, and I thought that the game. It really is fun again. You know what I mean? Like the DLC maps are absolutely amazing. You get to play like the Rogue One DLC, which I think is fun. The Death Star DLC, the Bespin Cloud City DLC is pretty good. The Jabba's Palace stuff is fun. So I think the DLC is much more fun than the actual main game. And so I'm definitely a fan of it, and I'm looking forward to part 2. But I would love, in a like perfect world, to get to be able to play a new KOTOR. So I would. What about you, Jay? Are you into Star Wars games at all?
Like I love the movies, all of them. I even have an affinity for the prequels that came out as well. I think you do too. I think you said one of your favorite movies was Episode 1.
Yeah, I like Episode 3 is my favorite, but I don't hate Episode 1. That was the first one I saw in theaters. You know what I mean? I just
and I grew up with the original trilogy as well. So I remember seeing Return of the Jedi when I was in grade 4 with a class. I did a class trip, and we went to the big city, and the teachers took us all out to the theater to see Return of the Jedi. And I swear, like after that, my life had changed. It was the first Star Wars movie I'd ever seen, and growing up, I've played the games. I've played everything from the Episode 1, the racing game. Remember the game that came out?
Yeah, pod racing. That was fun.
I played that a lot. I remember playing Jedi Knight on the PC. That was a lot of fun. I played KOTOR on the OG Xbox. I played some Star Wars Battlefront. I'm not as attached to the games as much as I am the movies, but every time a game comes out, I do get excited to see what they're doing and what they're bringing to the gaming side.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and so I get excited for the games, even though a lot of the games, or at least they used to be kind of mediocre. Like I really enjoyed the Force Unleashed. Like I like both of those. I thought the second one was the worst of the two, but I didn't hate it. They rushed it out. Just like I wasn't a fan of KOTOR 2 in the way that I like KOTOR 1. They really kind of rushed it. And because they had only a year turnaround for that game. So again, I think that not rushing the games, maybe don't announce them, or everybody wants to try to get these wants to try to get these games out in time for the holidays and things like that. So I think take your time, and then the product will be better. LucasArts did the same thing with the Force Unleashed 2. They're like, hey, we want to get the Force Unleashed 2 out in a year, and the developers were like, well, we could do that, but you're only going to get like a 63 Metacritic, and the thing ended up being 63 Metacritic. So, but the games are kind of fun. You get to be a badass with the Force, and I played the Jedi Arena games. One of my favorite games is Republic Commando on the original Xbox, which is a lot like Halo, sort of like Halo 4, because you have like your squad with you, like 3 other players, and you can like boss them around and tell them to do stuff, and a very interesting aspect and things like that. So I really enjoyed that, and I thought that the game was a lot of fun. And actually, Josh Holmes, who helped work on that game, ended up being one of the creative directors at 343 for Halo 4, and ended up cranking out that incredible game. So I think that he's not there anymore. He left just recently to go make a quote unquote indie game. So there is that. But at the end of the day, Star Wars games I'm always excited for. It sucks that there's only one developer that can do it, because I was really excited for that Star Wars 1313 game. I just thought that game had like the dark tone that a lot of Star Wars fans had been asking for. And I'm really just looking forward to whatever they have to show us. I want to see more on Amy Hennig's Star Wars game. I think that's still like 2018 or something, like incredibly disappointed that that's still over a year away. But again, if you guys are just joining us, Happy New Year to everyone. and it is officially the year of the Scorpio. So there's that. So who do we got on deck, Jay?
We have, I have to pronounce his name properly. It's Fick, F-A-I-Q.
Okay, we'll go with it.
Hi, this is Spike from Sacramento. I just had a question in regards for Scale Down. I wanted for you to compare if there are enough details out there that you know. The difference between Scale Down and Final Fantasy 15. I know that they're both role-playing games. They're based in a Japanese theme. So I just wanted you to sort of discuss more details about Scale Down. If Crap, if you know any word about the release date or anything like that. That's a game that I'm very excited for, and I think it's gonna, if done right, I think it's going to really, really propel and accelerate Xbox over PlayStation if it hasn't done so already over the past couple of months. And it's really gonna be, strongly headed towards Scorpio, and it's just gonna go on from there. But I hope PlayStation, I hope they still give Xbox some really good competition. It looks like they have some exciting games coming over, but. If you have anything, any codes, Xbox Live memberships or anything, I would like to make myself eligible for that. And I appreciate everything you guys are doing, and happy holidays. Thank you. Bye.
Awesome call. Yeah. As far as Scalebound, we don't really know much about it. I know that it's not going to be, like the you go, I go type of RPG. So it's going to be sort of, I guess, like the Final Fantasy 15, which Final Fantasy used to be that turn-based style. And so I'm not really a fan of the turn-based style anymore. I really prefer although, you know what, I like the turn-based stuff in South Park Stick of Truth. I thought that worked there. It was kind of fun, but for the most part, I'm not a fan of that. And so I think Scalebound is more just action-oriented RPG. I believe that it's going to be one of those things where, Scalebound is going to be at launch around the Scorpio time. And it's a 4-player. And I'm hoping that the whole game is co-op, like you're able to play through the whole game. Because I don't know, have you played Final Fantasy 15, Jay?
No, I haven't played it yet. It is on my radar. I think as soon as I get through some of this backlog, and I've got so many games. Like the other day, I looked at my ready to install. It's at 207. So
wow,
I have a lot of games as well. But I play games at my leisure, when I have time, and I usually pick a couple games at a time. So I'm playing right now. I'm playing Forza, and I'm playing Dead Rising 4. So as soon as I finish those, maybe I'll consider picking up Final Fantasy 15. And by the time I finish these 2 games, I'm sure it'll be discounted quite a bit. So.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like the fun thing about that is like you always got your crew of 3 other people with you. I just think that wow, the way to be to do that better would have been to do co-op with that. Have like co-op, 4-person co-op, and be able to play that. So I think that would have been cool. And so that's what I'm hoping for with Scalebound. Do the the co-op, because that's what Xbox gamers like. Like so far, the games that have kind of the new IP that have kind of failed on Xbox One were mostly just single player stuff without no, I'm not Space Cat. Jay, would you like reiterate that I'm not Space Cat?
No, you're definitely not Space Cat.
Yeah, Space Cat has his or her own YouTube channel, and is just and won a year of Xbox Live Gold. Definitely not me. Has his or her own Twitter. Just a fan of the show, man. Like there are some people that call in and do like characters or whatever, and none of them are us at all. Sorry, Space Cat. Look, we live in a very politically correct world, Space Cat. You could identify as whatever you want in this day and age, and I'm perfectly fine with that. So but I didn't want to assume or offend or anything like that. So but you know what I mean. I'm hopeful for Scalebound. I think it's going to be one of the best RPGs. It's a glaring need for the Xbox One, just having an RPG. Forget the JRPG part, just an RPG. Without Fable this generation, we need something to kind of step in there and take that place. And hopefully that's what it does. You know what I mean? I'm very excited for it. And like the co-op would make it even better, even better. Like I'm very excited to see what happens with that in the future. And we're going to hear a lot more about these games early next year. I know a lot of people are like, hey, let's hear more about these games. We don't know when they're coming out. We don't know what's what. As far as I'm concerned, we will probably hear about these games more before E3, because I think there's going to be an Xbox Scorpio kind of launch thing, or like a preview thing where they're going to introduce the console, things like that. And then E3 will be more game focused. But I think unlike the 2013 Xbox One reveal, we're going to have a heavier game focus, maybe show off Scalebound or Crackdown 3 running on the Scorpio or something like that right out of the gate, because I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. And so again, like, I'm very excited. If you're a gamer and not excited, like, check your pulse, because this year is going to be absolutely phenomenal. I think this year for gaming has been absolutely phenomenal, and I'm very excited about that. Who else do we got on deck, dude?
We have an old favorite, Stick Figure.
Stick Figure.
Hey, Mitch and Crap, it's Stick Figure from Australia. Yeah, just thought I'd give you a call, leave a message. My brother-in-law recently bought a PS4, much to my horror. He didn't even speak to me about it. And Christmas Day, we were all talking about what the PS4 can offer compared to Xbox One, which is not a lot. I told him that he could have got EA access. He's into his sports games. He could have got EA access, all the sports games for like $40 a year, Australian. External hard drive, and all the other benefits that come with Xbox, just being the elite gamers console. So I'm just wondering, do you think Xbox do enough to advertise things like EA access, use, with an external hard drive? They've got to be careful not to complicate things, but I just don't think they get it out there to the general public. My brother-in-law is as casual as you can get, and he told me that if he knew about the EA access, that he would have bought an Xbox One 100%. So yeah, just seeing what your thoughts on that. I just think Xbox loses a lot of sales from not pointing out those benefits that they have,
That's it.
Well, okay. Well, it's always good to hear from Stick Figure. He's a longtime supporter of the show, awesome fan. I just want to say that I think that, I think that there's always more that you can do to advertise. EA Access is a great service. A lot of people don't know it. Like, we were talking about it earlier. A lot of the Sony fans are like, hey, no, we don't want that. Like, I don't see how a person could not want at least the option. If there was EA Access on PS4, I would probably get that too. And the reason being would be the games for the easy, easy trophies and things like that. And they're good games. I mean, some of the games on there, like Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare 1 and 2. There's a couple of Need for Speed games on there. The Madden games. There's NHL hockey. There's let's see. There's the FIFA. There's the FIFA games. There's also Dragon Age Inquisition. Well, you wouldn't be able to play Titanfall 1 on that, but they're always adding stuff. Star Wars Battlefront is in there now. It's really a great service, and I don't see why people would be opposed to having that as an option, because I remember when I was complaining about certain things like PS4 Pro or Xbox Scorpio or Xbox One S, and Next Gen used to always say to me, what's wrong with options, crap? And I was, like, right, he's right. What's wrong with options? There's nothing wrong with options.
I actually talked to a couple of friends of mine who bought Xbox Ones for their kids for Christmas to get EA access. I mean, imagine being a kid, waking up Christmas morning, having a new game console and 30 plus games to play on the spot. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
It is like, look, as soon as you, as soon as you put, an Xbox One in someone's hand with Xbox Live, you're getting those 4 games that are free that month. And if you give them a $5 EA access for the month, or maybe the $30 for the year, you are good. You have probably well over 20 games. You know what I mean? So you are going to be busy for a while. And I think that is something of value that people just aren't getting with any other console right now. Look, it's fun to poke fun at the PS4 and joke, and the PS4 Pro is technically a powerful console, and there's nothing technically wrong with the PS4, like from a standpoint of it's a console and it'll play your games, and it's lifeless to me. Like as a gamer, and I've been gaming since the 80s, it's just kind of lifeless, it's just kind of there. The community doesn't seem alive. There's a lot of, there's a lot of bad parts to that community. They're not a friendly community. They're not a very welcoming community. I've never felt welcomed by the community. I mean, I get it, like the whole shtick that I do and stuff. Like, people are like, oh man, you must hate Sony. You must want them to go out of business, despite the fact that I have bought a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2, a PlayStation 3. I bought a PlayStation 4, a Pro. I bought a PlayStation Portable. I own a PlayStation Vita. You know what I mean? Like I've every PlayStation console. I've owned them all. I've owned various Sony products throughout my life, and I don't really have a problem with Sony, other than the fact that like people have a hard time getting it through their heads that I'm disappointed as a platform holder that there's a lack of content. I like the PS. I would like there to be like Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm gonna play that game next year, but then after that, what else is there? Like I'm not a Gravity Rush guy. I'm not a Niho. I'm not a JRPG guy like that. I'm not. So I think that I like the Uncharted's, I like the God of Wars, like that Spider-Man game is interesting. But are those games next year? I mean, are they this year? Or are they because we're 2017? Or are they next year?
You would think they were this year from those commercials.
Yes, the commercials where everybody was like, "Look, there's Kratos and there's Spider-Man," but then you see Sony release their thing of games coming out this year, and games like even the Crash trilogy aren't in that commercial. So maybe those games aren't coming out even this year, even though we're 2017. So I think that it's an interesting aspect. And as far as my time with the PS4 is concerned, like I buy AAA games, right? New. So when I bought my PS4, I bought the Order 1886, and it had just come out, and it was already on sale. I bought the collector's edition. Why did I buy the collector's edition? Well, it's easy. It's because when you buy a new console, you want that graphical showpiece, just like Rise Son of Rome was for the Xbox One. Really graphical showpiece. I thought Rise was the better game, had the better story and actual better gameplay. But you still, like the Order, you couldn't deny that it looked fantastic. It was really cool. It was actually a really cool idea, the setting and stuff like that. It just wasn't executed well. And that game kind of begged for some kind of multiplayer that it never got. But, I think that, and I got that game. So I went from the Order 1886 all the way until the following year when I could get what the hell game did I get the following year? I think that might have been the year that Uncharted came out, because they really like they do it like if you're just an average like Joe Blow gamer that doesn't really care about like Japanese RPGs. They really put their games out few and far between. So it was like I went one year to the other. So it was like the Order 1886, then all the way to Uncharted 4. I mean, I did get like Ratchet and Clank, but that's not really a AAA in my opinion, kind of a remake AA or whatever. And then so you go all the way from Uncharted 4 to Horizon Zero Dawn, almost another year. So it's like it's like really odd to kind of have yes, Xbox Kamasuki Dragon. I'm not really into Kamasuki Dragon. It's not really my thing. So yeah, so yeah, like that's not my thing. So yeah, I absolutely hope that that I would love for them to put out a few more games, because honestly, I can like write Wash Me on my PS4. Like I try to wipe the thing down as much as possible, but it just gets dusty. I don't use the damn thing. So, it's kind of unfortunate. I just, I would love, as a gamer, I would love for them to put out more games. But I am excited about like the Nintendo Switch that's coming out. I'm very looking forward to that, because we don't know a lot about it, but it looks kind of cool. Like, are you a Switch guy, Jay? Are you like interested?
You know what? I am, now that I've seen what the new Pro controller is going to be. Because the last, I have a real issue with positions of thumbsticks on controllers. Like I love the Xbox One because of the staggered control of the staggered thumbsticks, and when they released the Pro controller for the Wii U, the two thumbsticks were up top, and I don't like them symmetrical like that. It doesn't work for me. So once they've announced the Pro controller for the Switch, where it looks very much like an Xbox controller, I think it's something that I would really jump into. I mean, I'm not as much a guy who's going to take it on the go, and my kids are 13, and they're not into gaming as much as I am, so I'm not going to be using it for that purpose. But for gaming on the television with the controller, I'm looking forward to playing the new Zelda and to see what the new Mario may look like. I still love it from my youth, so yeah, I'm definitely in.
Us Italians are sitting there thinking it's Mario, Jay, Mario.
I'm Canadian, and that's how we speak.
I know, because I like on game nights when we game with She Wolf, and she's like a boot or house, yeah, or hoose. Yeah, so I think that those are kind of interesting ways to say it. But I know nothing but love for you guys up there in the Great White North. You guys are like America Junior. That's what I call you. Except for you guys don't have put up with a lot of the bullshit that we put up with. You know what I mean? It's like we butt our noses in literally everything, and it's nice to see that you guys are just kind of docile. Like you guys are just chill. Like you guys spoke a lot of drugs up there. You know what I'm saying?
The West Coast, yes, the West Coast.
You guys are all just like, hey man, welcome to Canada. Get your free prescription drugs and your free healthcare. Like totally, getting the hoose. You know, so
there are advantages and disadvantages to that whole healthcare thing too, because I think, and I was posting, I'm pretty public on Twitter about things, but the other day, a friend of mine had to get an MRI. She's been battling cancer for a while, and she literally had to go in for an MRI at 9 o'clock at night. And that's kind of the way our healthcare system works. It may be free, but it isn't very convenient because there's lots of wait times and stuff like that. If we were paying for it, much like the US has been doing forever, there wouldn't be as many wait times. Surgery should be a little faster. I know people that have been waiting for surgery for like 2 years.
That's like an unfortunate kind of thing with the healthcare situation. And hey, welcome to J-Dubs and Crap as we discuss various healthcare options in Canada and America. It's quite a long wait. The healthcare thing is a little bit weird. Like here, like you guys have like emergency rooms there. Like there's an okay. So like if you have emergencies or whatever, then you guys can still do stuff like that. But just like scheduling stuff, it's quite a ways out, right?
Go up at the emergency room and you wait there for 6 hours to see a doctor.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. That sounds pretty bad. I mean, yeah. But anyway, let's go ahead and rack up another voicemail.
Sure. So we've got another diamond in the rough here who's been calling pretty nonstop. John Thomas.
Okay.
Hi, Mooch and Crap. It's John Thomas the Gamer, and I'm excited for Christmas. How are you guys? Do you think Street Fighter 6 will come to the Xbox? And I want some games like Mario Party and Zelda on the Xbox. Well, not those specifically because those are Nintendo, but things like them. Man, that would be cool. Plus, I've been working really hard on those achievements. Yeah, baby. Achievements rock. And trophies droll. All right, bye.
Well, thanks, John. Always good to hear from you, buddy. I agree. Trophies aren't as good as gamer score for a couple of reasons. Like for me personally, like there's certain instances like I would rather say like there's some games where you get 50 or 100 gamer score for beating a game, and then conversely you'd only get one trophy for that, which is not as fun to me. You know what I mean? Like I would rather get a chunk of gamer score than one trophy. So yeah, I think that's like as far as I'm concerned. I'm glad that you're excited. Hopefully you had a good holiday and stuff though, John. Man, I appreciate the support and all that stuff. You've been a pretty solid supporter of the show, and I'm very thankful for that. To those of you guys joining us late, this is the absolute last MNC mornings. Just so I wanted to do one to close it out as a as a thank you to the fans. I feel like you guys deserve the show to end and to know it was ending and not just to cut it off. So J-Dubs and I are here kind of holding down the fort. We're not taking any calls right now. We're just basically not for any particular reason, just because Jay's Surface broke and that's how we did the calls. But you know what I mean? Like some people have expressed interest in doing a similar show, maybe with someone else. Maybe, I mean, if there's enough support for that, let me know, like in the comments or like on Twitter or whatever, if that's something you guys would be interested in. I have no problems with that. It's something I have to think about at a later date, like talk it over with Jay. There's logistics and things like that. So, but the thing with this podcast, it was so different and it really gave voice to people that maybe don't have a YouTube channel. You know what I mean? Like people could call in. Like not everybody wants to start a YouTube channel. Not everyone that starts them has a large fan base. I don't have the largest fan base, but 20-some thousand people, and you have an opportunity to get your voice heard and your grievances heard and things like that. And I think that resonates with people because I don't really see a lot of other podcasts offering that chance. People don't, they kind of treat their fans poorly, and I don't do that. I've never done that. I've always tried to interact with the fans as much as possible. And that's what this thing was all about. That's what this whole idea was with MNC Mornings, was a morning show, which is something nobody else was doing, and a show that, that not only took voicemails throughout the week where we could interact and answer your questions and things like that. Some of you are busy. Maybe you couldn't call in and catch it live, but guess what? You could catch it later and your question could still be asked and heard on the air and answered. And I think that that's the big difference. Or you could call on the air, and we even have the show on iTunes, like people requested that.
Don't forget Google Plus.
And Google Plus. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that, that we did everything for you guys, and you guys really responded in a big way. I can still remember the first time that somebody donated something, because we had no plans on doing like giveaways or anything like that. And I think it was like Maddie Beast and Demon Wolf donated some stuff, and then it just kind of grew from there. Xbox One would donate some stuff, and then like it just grew from there. Week after week, people would just be like, hey, I got this code, you want to give it away on MNC Mornings? And we would give it away, and more people would donate stuff. We've given away, I think, 3 or 4 full years of Xbox Live in the whole time that we've been doing this. It's been fantastic. The reception, we've had characters. It was everything we wanted. When we discussed it, it was like we kind of like a talk show like Howard Stern or something. We pushed the envelope a little bit. Like Jay will tell you, since like you're a prominent part of the show today, like some of the stuff, like last week, I think we had who the hell's the guy in the wheelchair, the physicist?
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking, right? You didn't tell us about that pre-show. So we're sitting there like, and you're like, yeah, we got a special one from Stephen Hawking. And like the voice starts and I was just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? It was the funniest thing. And it kind of pushes the envelope. And of course we do the drop that it's just jokes or whatever, because it's all just jokes. It's fun and games. And you know what I mean? And you guys get that. And so props to you guys that do get that and do understand that it's just jokes. It's just fun. It's just video games. We like to have a laugh. And, Jay would always like push more than us. Like you would think that it was me or Mooch that was trying to push the envelope, but it was always Jay. You know what I mean? Jay would be like, hey, we got this coming in or whatever, and then play it. And it was just always funny. And like, that's what I always remember the most is like this thing was like this idea.
So I would take the voicemails during the week, and some people would be emailing them in, and some people would be sending them on Skype. And I would listen to every single one of them. And there was that one week when Tony the Pony called in, and he was. We all remember the voicemail because it was pretty raunchy. Anyway, he had sent in 2 voicemails, and the second one he sent in, he said, "You may want to play this one. This one's a little less controversial." And I was like, "Screw that! I'm playing the good one."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying, man. You know what I mean? It's an interesting thing to see what's going on with this, and I think that it's it's really meant a lot to me that everybody has come out and support the show and stuff like that. But do we have another voicemail lined up?
Yes, we do. We've got our old favorite, All Day.
Awesome.
What's good, Mooch and Crap? This is your darkest distant cousin All Day. And shouts out to you guys that won on the Console Corners Awards. Now, this is my my another rant. Want to see how you guys feel about it. Remember when you first popped in Gears of War on your 360? You were fucking wild. Someone can ask you to borrow a piece of paper. Hey, you got a piece of paper? Yeah! You're just hype. You know what I'm saying? It was innovative. It was new. The mechanics were new. You know what I'm saying? It was fresh. I'm fucking jaded. I'm fucking fatigued. This generation, I haven't had one game to wow me at all. It's all the same shit, reskin. You even got the same 4 or 5 voice actors in the industry running the shit. Like, there's nothing wow. It's the same shit, different skin, same 4 genres of games. Like, Push the fucking envelope. I'm throwing you guys money. We're all throwing you guys money. Give us the dope shit. With these new iterations of consoles, the PlayStation 4 Pro, the Xbox Scorpio coming out, push it. Trip down some fucking stairs if you have to. Make a grand entrance. I want to see those big AAA strong games. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm not getting them. I just feel like they're just riding on these coattails of sequels and franchises, and they're not pushing the envelope. And it's really annoying. You know what I mean? So what do you guys feel about that? Do you feel like we will see the envelope get pushed, or will these companies sit back with their crusty ass feet on the table eating cheese and crackers? But that's all I got for you guys today. Enjoy the show. Everybody, Happy New Year. Fuck.
Yeah, well, Happy New Year. I think that the companies do try to push what they can, but they also have to play it safe in the aspect that, you know what I mean, that people, people buy the same things a lot, and I think Microsoft, to their credit, have done a pretty good job at pushing the envelope. Stuff like Sunset Overdrive, stuff like Rise, stuff like Quantum Break, those push the envelope, I believe. There's something new, there's something different, something that mostly Xbox gamers haven't really had a lot of. And so with that being said, I think that, it's just an interesting situation because you get put those out there, and if Xbox owners aren't used to that, they might not flock to it. So we haven't seen a lot of people maybe support those types of things, but at the same time, you still have to offer them, once in a while. Like Rise was good. Yeah, I see in there. Look, Quantum Break wasn't boring. I played through it twice. I thought it was good. Maybe it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but a lot of times games don't really find their footing until the sequel. So I think that the sequel would be something that would be absolutely fantastic. We would have to push forward with that. They actually left the sequel out, open at the end of Quantum Break. They leave it open for a sequel. Now, do I think we'll ever see a sequel? I don't know. People didn't exactly flock to the first one. It was an expensive game to make. Remedy has recently spoke out and said, hey, there was some missed opportunities with Quantum Break and Alan Wake. As far as I'm concerned, they talked about more open world type of a game. I don't think a more open world type of game automatically equals a good game. There's a lot of people that don't like the fully open world type of games, and I'm one of them. I've never completed a Grand Theft Auto game. I get into them for a little bit. I'm like, hey, this is cool. And then, you get a little bit in there, you get sidetracked all the time. It's I'm more or less the one that likes maybe a limited open world, but it's pretty clear you can go to A to B to C and just kind of complete the game and things like that. So that's really what I kind of like. And, you know what I mean? Just as far as I'm concerned, Jay, are you a big open world fan? Do you think that makes games better?
Not all. I've liked the Dying Light series. That was a little more open world. I've never played Grand Theft Auto 5 or any of the Grand Theft Autos, really. I've tinkered with them, but I've never really played them. Open world is not really my thing. I think I'm a little too old to appreciate it. I'm kind of like you. I like the point A to point B to point C.
Yeah.
If I can see a progression and I see where I'm supposed to be, it's another reason why I didn't get into the Dark Souls games, is because I would end up in an area that I was supposed to be level 30 in, and I died 17 times, and I don't want to play it again. But there are some games that I enjoy that are open world, but for the most part, I'm a very much linear. Go to point A to point B, kill this guy, and go to the next boss, and that's just it's my age too, I think.
I like this chat and this comment in the chat. Fox and Crap in the Mornings brought to you by Hellman's. Yeah. I thought that was funny. Yeah, what? I do, with that caller. He's a longtime caller and fan. So, I'm all for new IP, but I also I'm weird because if Microsoft was just hey, let's go ahead and just do new and forget about Forza, Halo, and Gears, I'd be like, what the hell? Because honestly, I buy Xboxes for that. I buy Nintendo platforms for Zelda, Mario, Metroid, that kind of stuff. So for me, that would definitely be something that I would be pissed off about. That's sort of my pissiness with the PS4 is like I like God of War, I like Uncharted, I like like Jack and Dexter, SOCOM. These are games that I grew up with, and they just don't put them out anymore for whatever reason. You know what I mean? Like the last SOCOM was like in 2011, and then they closed down the company that makes those games. And one of the main reasons why that SOCOM failed, it wasn't that it was terrible. It was the fact that was when they came out like the week that PSN went down for a month, and it's like a multiplayer game. So I think that it was a little bit unfortunate, and I think that it's kind of sad, like Sony won't go back to that. I'm a big fan of those games, like the Siphon filters, all that kind of stuff. In fact, I bought a PlayStation 3 specifically because Metal Gear Solid 4 was coming to it, because I was a big fan of that series. And the game I thought was a little bit of a letdown, just like the last one. I don't know, like I feel like the first few were probably the best, but at the end of the day, I think that it's, with how costly development is right now, and with all the studios closing, we just had like Crytek close down a bunch. I think that it's important to have that balance, and I think that's what these companies are trying to find right now, and that is that balance. And I'm definitely looking forward to that, and hopefully they continue to do that. And I'm excited to see what the future offers. Like, look, the game that could press the boundaries, even though it's a sequel, would be Crackdown 3. You're talking about a game that's taking full advantage of the cloud, that has fully destructible environments, fully destructible everything in the multiplayer, and the stuff doesn't disappear. Like, you blow up a building and it comes crashing down, and all that stuff just stays like on the ground, like the entire people, like the entire time. So I think that that's cool, and that's definitely pushing the envelope, and I'm very happy with that. And I think that like stuff like that is very important. And also a game like State of Decay 2, which is going to be like the co-op open world type zombie game, even though, like I said, I'm not like too much into like the main like single player co-op stuff like that. I think that would be a phenomenal game that's really kind of pushing the limits, and I'm excited for that as well. Who else we got on deck?
So we've got two voicemails left. We've got a new caller named Anthony.
Hey Mooch, hey Crap, this is Anthony, a first-time caller here, and I just want to tell you guys that I absolutely love your podcast, man. Anyone that you guys do, from VGST, Xbox Nation, Crossfire, MNC Mornings, I watch them all, and I gotta say, you guys are hilarious, man. You guys have me rolling almost every week. And I just want you guys to know, man, that, we really appreciate the podcast that you guys put on. And from the Xbox community, I mean, you guys know that we're discriminated against from the entire gaming media, right? Xbox is never given a fair shake, and Microsoft is always being they're always being discriminated against. And I want you guys to know that a lot of guys come to your podcasts just to, vent and get away from that biased bullshit that we have to endure every day. And so Mooch, Crap, Jay Williams, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for what you do. It's a great podcast. It's utterly hilarious, man. And everybody that you guys involved with, man. Next Gen 720, K Mega, She-Wolf, GKB, you guys are fucking hilarious, man. You guys have me rolling every week. I'm laughing my ass off here. So thank you guys for what you do. I just want to let you guys know that you're appreciated, and we got your back. So you guys got a lot of trolls on Twitter. These are a bunch of dumbasses. Don't worry about these guys, man. And the Xbox community is behind you guys 100%. So thanks for everything you do. Shout out to Jay Williams, putting on one hell of a show. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely, man. That was actually a pretty touching call, because that's why we do it. If you look back, like the Xbox community used to get like harassed nonstop. You know, it was just 24/7 hate on Xbox, and now it's not that way. You know, I mean, you have, and not I want to point this out. I don't think every PlayStation fan is crazy. I don't think every PC fan is crazy. I don't think every Xbox fan is a saint. You know, I just think that there's extremists and there's people that speak for the vocal minority, and they tend to speak louder than a lot of other people. And so that's what, again, this whole idea behind this show was that people would have a voice that maybe didn't have their own channel or didn't have an outlet. Not that like I'm a huge YouTuber or anything like that, but, you know, a moderate voice in the community, you know, and again, I've never claimed to be the spokesperson for Xbox or the spokesperson for the Xbox community, but it was cool to be able to talk about Xbox and gaming. It's a passion of mine, and I really enjoy it. And I think that it's you know, something that's worthwhile talking about. It's a hobby of mine, you know, just like football, just like you know, whatever. Like we all have different hobbies. Like Jay, you probably draw a lot, right?
Yeah, I used to draw a lot when I was younger. I mean, I went to art school. So if people want to know how much I draw, like I've spent probably half of my life with a sketchbook in my hand. And now that I've got the Surface tablet, I've been drawing on that nonstop. And that's something else, you know, we're talking about how we kind of got into all this as, you know, as not only fans, but, you know, it was a passion of ours. Honestly, like this was kind of an outlook for me too, because crap, if you remember correctly, the first time I interacted with you was that I was trying to send you images of t-shirts, trying to say, hey man, you got a really cool podcast. And I was in that minority at the time too, where I was an Xbox guy and I felt like I wasn't given my due, especially after the reveal in 2013. And everyone kind of was shitting on Xbox, and I kind of felt like, you know what, this is not the way it should be. This is not right. So I needed an outlet. So I kind of gravitated to the Xbox channels like yourself and Zaire and guys like that, and started putting my talent to use and started sending you images, and you know, it kind of snowballed into what's happening today. So
Yeah.
I have a big appreciation for what you guys have done and what you guys have allowed me to do, and given me the opportunities to help you guys out. It's been a phenomenal ride, and I don't look at this as an end. I just look at this as an opportunity to expand what we're doing and to another level.
Things change all the time, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and it evolves. And there's a lot of really great podcasts right now. So people shouldn't really be sad or upset. I mean, like I was listening to the next podcast yesterday, and they did a really good job with that. There's like the Console Corner is good. Like BGST is good. Like Zaire's got like 101 podcasts going on. You know, and there's a good, you know, those are pretty good. There's Xbox Nation, you know, there's a lot of good stuff going on in the community and things like that. It's not the, you know, 2013, you know, it's, you know, it's 2017 now. Xbox fans can come out of hiding. We're just as relevant as anyone else, if not more so. And you know, I think that people are ready to start having fun with gaming again. I'm excited about where gaming's going right now, and I'm very excited to see what happens in the future. You know, will these mid-generation upgrades be a thing that's continued from now on? I don't know. You know, I'm not really sure. Will they be successful? Again, I don't really know. But I'm excited to see it. You know I went all in on like the 4K stuff, so I'm looking forward to Scorpio from that aspect. But will it be, you know, how do you go about, like for me, the question I always say is, how do you go about a mid-generation upgrade and take advantage of such a powerful upgrade when it's going to have to work and have all the same games as the previous iterations? You know what I mean? Like Xbox One, even the Xbox One S at like 1.4 teraflops going to over 6. That's huge. That is way, way, way more of a jump than the 360 to the Xbox One. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. Like I'm kind of a tech guy that likes to hear this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I think that it's fun. You know, it's fun for me. It's like we're already in 2017. That is hard to believe. You know what I mean? Like hard to me. Like Jay, like you're even older than me, but doesn't it just seem like whenever you see a movie that came out in like 2008, you still think of that as like a couple years ago?
I do. Yeah. Like I was trying to get my kids. We were watching something the other day on television. There was an actor on the screen, and I said to myself, I got to get my kids to start watching some of these old movies again, because they don't really appreciate that. They only see what's happening now, and they don't live in the past like we do. I mean, you get to our age, and as famous people say, nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Yes.
And I'm kind of stuck. I've got that bug. I've had that bug for a long time, and I've got older kids, so that it reminds me every day when I look at them that I'm getting older, and I just want everyone to realize that life is precious and just keep enjoying it. And if that means watching an old movie with your kids, then that's what you have to do. So.
Yeah, an old movie from way back in 2008. Like, I mean, that's how it is for me. Like, I'll watch something. Like, I remember I was watching. What the hell was I watching? I was watching Superbad, which came out in 2007, which is 10 years ago now, right? Like 10 years ago, like holy shit. And I'm just like, yeah, that's like 10 years ago. Like people, like my brother who was like, I think 8.5, 9 years younger than me. I don't exactly know how many. It's like, it varies because, the birth years or whatever. But like, I was like growing up and I saw Something About Mary. Have you ever seen that movie?
Which movie?
There's Something About Mary.
Oh yes, I saw that one.
Yes, like he's never seen it. Like there's all these movies and stuff like from the '90s that he's never seen. I'm like, you never seen that? He's like, nope. And I'm like, oh man, how can you never seen that movie? Like Ben Stiller was hilarious in that movie. I seen it like 5 times in the theater or whatever. It's like it's always fun to kind of go forward and see how much things have changed. Just going forward, and so like technology is exciting to that. I don't really fear the future. I just like, again, I do like the nostalgia side of things too. Like I like the Nintendo stuff, and that's why I like Nintendo, like the nostalgia stuff, they do something different. I've always said when people are like, they're going to have a weak ass console, and I'm like, okay, I don't care, because I like Nintendo games and I don't want the same exact thing as the PlayStation and Xbox, because I already have those two and most of my time is on Xbox. Like Nintendo could come out with the most powerful console in the world, and I still would do most of my gaming on the Xbox because that's my preferred platform, the ecosystem, my achievements, my friends, the controller, all that stuff. So like that stuff doesn't matter to me. Like I like playing the Nintendo stuff and it'll get its time to play or whatever. But the power was never an issue for me. Never an issue whatsoever. And, so just going forward, again, we're getting 2 new consoles this year, and it just seems like yesterday we had 2 new consoles with the PS4 and Xbox One releasing. So I'm very excited to see the Switch, and we're going to hear there's like some kind of event in January showing that off and talking about it and stuff. So hopefully like the Scorpio gets shown off. I heard May Scorpio is going to get kind of an event or whatever. But yeah, so I think that would be absolutely cool. And I'm excited for the stuff, like who's our last voicemail?
The last voicemail is from DB.
Okay, DB.
Hey, Mooch and Crab and J-Dubs, Graphic God. DB here from Twitter, long-time listener, first-time caller, and I had a question regarding the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox One. Basically, I'm 24 years old, been playing games forever, all my friends play on PlayStation, I play with them as well, but I prefer the Xbox ecosystem, and I've been trying to get all of them to get an Xbox, but they will not do it no matter what, even though they have amazing games and whatnot, as you know. But as soon as the Nintendo Switch was announced, they were all in. Everyone is pre-ordering it when they can. Everyone's going to buy it, or so they say. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Why no one is willing to get an Xbox One, but Nintendo, they'll make an exception for. Even when you know they're going to underdeliver like they have every other time in the past. I've been seeing this a lot over Twitter where people are saying they're going to get a Nintendo Switch, but nobody wants an Xbox One S, and I'm not sure why. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. All right, take care.
Well, good call, I guess, but I think that a lot of people want an Xbox One S. I don't really see very many people say they don't want one anymore. I think that a lot of people want the Xbox One S specifically. I mean, it's the only one with 4K Blu-ray player. It's a very good console. It's got very good games. Obviously, it's won 4 out of the last 5 NPDs, so it's doing well. I just think that Nintendo has that nostalgia factor, and that Nintendo the price could be a factor. They're saying like $249. Yes, dogs. $249, which would be a really good price for that. You know what I mean? So I just think that that the price probably plays a point. But Jay, have you heard of anyone that says they outright don't want an Xbox One?
I don't know anyone. I mean, I have a couple of friends of mine that are living in the PlayStation ecosystem, and they prefer to stay there. And that's totally fine because that's where their friends are. And that's what I say to anybody who asks me, you know, what system should I get? And I say, well, what do you play now? And if they're prominently a PlayStation player, I say, well, stay with PlayStation because that's where your friends are. But I've never heard anyone basically come out and say, well, you know, I would rather go out and buy a Nintendo Switch before buying an Xbox because, you know, you just have to talk to me for 5 minutes and I can tell you the 1,000 benefits of having an Xbox One. You know, from the games to the ecosystem to the achievements to the options, you know, all the features.
The controller, I mean, that once you use that Elite controller, which is hard to explain, like I didn't even know like properly how to use the trigger locks and stuff. So Hellhammer was explaining it to me, and he's like, "Yeah, you put the trigger locks on, and then you don't have to press down as much to fire your weapon, like with the triggers." And I'm like, "Really? That is huge."
Yeah, big time.
Like, and so now I'm going around doing that, and I've been like doing much better on like shooters and stuff like Call of Duty. I'm like, this is a game changer, you know. Like I didn't even realize that, but that is like simply amazing. And Jay, you're one of the people like Hellhammer that really likes to play anywhere stuff. I mean, is that something you're really into?
Yeah, well, I didn't think I was because until I got my new video card, I really couldn't play a whole lot on my computer. I was running an old 1 meg video GPU on this thing, and I tried to load up Quantum Break when it first came out, when it was you know, you could download it on your computer at the same time, and it was just chugging along, and I knew I couldn't play it. Now that I've got the RX 480, I can basically play everything in max settings, and you know, it's really convenient because, you know, I do a lot of work. There are some times when I'm doing video editing and I want to do a render, I can just pop up a game on my second screen and play, you know, 15-20 minutes of Forza or Gears of War or even Recore, and wait for my video to render. But yeah, other than that, it's a great feature, and I really appreciate having it. I love the fact that it syncs back and forth. You know, you load up your Xbox and it pulls all the progress that you did on your computer. Yeah, it's an amazing feature for people that still are going on and on about how Xbox has no exclusives because they're on PC. Well, you know, you guys are brain dead because it's all the same.
Yeah.
About Xbox and PC are the same.
It is. I mean, look, it's not like you start a new game. Like what happens is it picks up literally right where you left off. You know what I mean? It's just like a different Xbox. I mean, you could sit there and even consider it a different Xbox. Like people, that's the problem, I think, is people look for any reason or excuse to say, you know, Xbox doesn't have games or this or that, not realizing that obviously Microsoft owns these IPs. They own, you know, they own the Windows ecosystem. I mean, 99% of like PC users use Windows. They're going to be the first $1 trillion, you know, $1 trillion company. So they're not really, you know, in danger of losing anything. I think gaming to them is like a goodwill thing. I think it just keeps them, you know, it keeps them in the public spotlight with some of the younger people. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people associate Microsoft with Windows and stuff like that. You know, I think that as far as the younger people, they associate Xbox with Microsoft. And I think that's actually a pretty cool thing. You know, like I said, Hellhammer, he's a big Xbox dude, but he uses the Play Anywhere stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and he seems to like it. It's not for me personally because I'm not like a PC person, but I could see like where you or him or somebody like that would be busy and on the run. You have a capable PC or laptop or whatever, being able to pick up your save wherever you are or whatever. Like, I think that's a pretty good idea. And it is a selling point. It's just not a selling point to me. You know, right. Like it doesn't really mean anything to me. I could care less. Like there's a bunch of games that I could download as far as play any here, like Killer Instinct. I own all that stuff. That would be a really fantastic game to do, because I could download that. I could download Forza because I have a decent PC. So I could do all that stuff.
I was actually quite surprised to know that Killer Instinct was one of the Play Anywhere games. Because I was going through my game list and I saw it there and it was like, click to install, and I installed it on my PC. Great.
Yeah, exactly. So like to me, hey, someone's like, crap, you should just do like Kelly Ripa and have a guest co-host until you find someone. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna talk with the Jay about this stuff eventually. There's you don't have to worry about me going anywhere, because Crap Gamer has no shame. Crap Gamer has nothing to hide. Crap Gamer is the man, basically. And I continue to do content no matter what, unless I'm dead. And if I'm dead, then you guys still do the show, and make sure you do it in Crap Gamer style. So yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to, since we did all the voicemails and stuff like that, there was just a few people that I wanted to thank, for like the contributions and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And that would be, I want to thank Diggity, Dirk Riggedy. He always calls in, very big supporter from the day one. Space Cat, funny. You kind of developed into your own character because of the OK thing. Like, that was just hilarious. Like, thank you. Sergio, one of the most touching people that called in, and had that, remember that, Jay? Like, he had that whole story where he had some tragedies and things like that, and would watch the show and laugh and have a good time. So yeah, thankfully. Luca on the second floor, again, like, a lot of this stuff was just organically. There's a song that talks about Luca on the second floor. It was just funny, and we kind of went with it, and now she's like a prominent member of the Xbox community. Used to be, like, I guess, a big PlayStation fan, new into the Xbox community, is like, hey, welcome. So she is like on ladies night with Console Corner and stuff like that. Def Jam Bam, my homeboy, with the sound bar, very funny guy, cool guy. Game with them, just was a fan. Then we started gaming with them, had him on Xbox Nation. He was on Crossfire, he was on Console Corner. Cool dude. GKB, She-Wolf. GKB helped fill in once, and same thing with Hellhammer, and people were like oh no, you know what I mean? Like, it was the worst thing in the world, but they both did a really good job of filling in. She-Wolf, she really put in a lot of time doing, like, listening to me be a director, because I was like directing what to say, how to say it, speed it up, slow it down, you know what I mean? Like, to get the drops done right. And they've been long time supporters as well. Xbot 448, I wrote it down so that I knew what it was. Like, this is like stuff that I wrote down. Big time supporter. Your podcast is one of the ones that's going to have to step up, obviously. You and your wife, Mel, obviously big supporters. You guys always call in, support the show and things like that. So thank you. And same thing with like GKB and She-Wolf. Console Corner is going to be an even bigger thing now. Just like the next podcast, it's like the next man up as far as the community goes. You guys have it in you to do it. Noof Nukem, absolutely hilarious guy. No Chills Noof, you live up to that reputation. Very funny guy. Those that don't know, Noof is like a legit radio guy. He does radio for a living. Really funny guy. He did the I guess we can give it away. He does a Arnold Schwarzenegger. Do we have any of the Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, Jay?
Put the cookie down. It's time for MNC Mornings.
Exactly. So he did all those for us, and really funny guy. In fact, the first time that I played any games with him was we played the Uncharted 4 beta on PS4, and we streamed it over Twitch, and it was a lot of fun. And I was like, man, this guy's funny, and some of his jokes land a little flat, but he's always funny as hell. Yoshida, my boy Danny Boy, just that was organically funny as hell. Just again, like, he nailed it. Sometimes people will try too hard with characters or whatever. His was funny because he just because like the character would break sometimes or whatever, and then like he would go at it with like, oh well, She-Wolf will butt in afterwards or whatever. It was just really funny, and we had a really good time with that. Matty Beast, longtime fan, would donate a bunch of stuff. Demon Wolf, same thing. Like, you were the I think the first one to send in anything. Stick Figure, you did a really good job as well doing that in, and J Dubs, man, you did a fantastic job. And also the guy, obviously the thing, this whole idea was Mooch, so like this whole thing was his idea, and so obviously him as well. Is there anybody you would like to thank, Jay, like that you can think of? Because I was trying to think of this last night.
You named everybody. I think you've named everybody that the people that have helped me out are you guys. It's the Xbox community. It's all the podcasters that I've done work for, done avatars for. Like, I feel privileged to know that I'm on almost every show. If you watch all these shows within the community, someone in that panel is got a Jay Williams avatar, and you guys have all supported me. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart that you've given me that opportunity to be creative and to give me that outlet. And 2017 there's no end. It's a new beginning for all of us. So we're going to step up our games, and we're going to do new things. And maybe 2017, Jay will get a Surface Studio and
Studio. Let's donate. Let's all donate. Like
shit that I can produce with that, it'll be off the hook.
Yeah, it would be awesome. Like Jay, you've helped out the community tremendously. Like all the Xbox Pope and all you guys. It's like you guys are the support that you guys have given and stuff like that has been awesome. Delilah, K-Mega, the community is strong. It's a lot stronger than people think. A lot of you guys know the situation. There's no sense in beating a dead horse because we're not going to give credit to anybody for doing anything, because at the end of the day, it is what it is. The Xbox Nation continues, BGST continues, all the good stuff continues, and we'll continue to bring you guys good content throughout 2017 to match the content that Xbox is giving. And I just want to say thank you guys as you go ahead and put the studio mode on. I think it'd be a good time to kind of exit out.
Do we want to do a spin?
Oh yeah, we could do a spin. We actually, I have a FIFA 17 full download code, so you guys can win that. Maybe one of you guys will be lucky enough to win that. Is it ready to go?
It's all ready to go. If you can see what's happening here on the screen. I just want to say to some people that if you didn't hear your voicemail, there's a reason why we didn't play all the voicemails, but I did make sure that I put everybody on the wheel. So. Yeah. So this is for FIFA 17?
Yeah, FIFA 17. Sorry, I had my stuff muted already.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the spin.
And congratulations all day. Yes, you have won FIFA 17. I don't know if you're a soccer fan, but you just won FIFA 17. And so congratulations and thanks for watching. And if you guys really would like a show in this similar format, obviously it would be different, name something different. But let us know, man. Message me and Jay, sound off. And, thanks for everything. You guys have been really good as we go into studio mode, Jay. And, let's all be Giants fans for the day, huh? Go New York Giants.
Studio.
Today, I feel like the luckiest man on the face of the earth. It's been great work with J-Dubs. All you guys, all you guys. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the support. Rack 'em up. Happy 2017.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes.